Hello and welcome to In the Channel from channelbuzz.ca, bringing news and information to the Canadian IT channel for the last 16 years. I'm Robert Dutt, editor of channelbuzz.ca and your host for the show. A rare double up on In the Channel today. We've already dropped a great interview with Tim Coach from Sonomi on third-party risk management, but this is something different altogether. This is what I like to call a reporter's notebook episode. No guests, just me and some thoughts I want to share from my time on the ground at ServiceNow's Knowledge 2026 conference in Las Vegas. Specifically, I spent about 40 minutes in a room with ServiceNow Chairman and CEO Bill McDermott along with my peers at the industry press in a fireside chat format. You know, I'm always somehow just a tiny bit disappointed when there's not an actual fireplace, but I digress. McDermott is one of the most practiced and polished executives in enterprise technology. He knows exactly what he's doing when he talks to the press, but he's also genuinely quotable in a way that a lot of enterprise CEOs aren't. And I came out of that session with a few things I wanted to think out loud about. Fair warning, he spent a meaningful amount of time on ServiceNow's valuation story and the disconnect between where Wall Street has the stock and where he thinks the business is going. I'm mostly going to skip that part. You're solution providers, not analysts or institutional investors. What I want to talk about is what he said about where the industry is going, because I thought that was worth unpacking. So, the line that stuck with me since I walked out of the room: governance isn't a feature, it's the whole ball game. That's the sentence I'd put on a poster if I was running ServiceNow's marketing department right now. Not just a pithy line, it's the entire strategic argument the company's making distilled down to 9 words. Here's the bet McDermott's making, and I think it's worth understanding because it has real implications for how you think about the next few years of your business. The first bet is that the AI race isn't going to be won by the best model. It's going to be won by whoever can make AI safe enough, governed enough, and deterministic enough to actually run an enterprise on. He drew a distinction that I thought was worth clarifying. He said, and I'm quoting, "You can't have a probabilistic solution for an enterprise. It has to be deterministic, it has to be right every time." That's the core argument against the pure large language model play. An LLM gives you the best answer it can, given the data it has. It's probabilistic by nature. That's fine for a lot of things. It's not fine if you're running IT service management for a bank, or HR workflows for a public sector organization, or customer operations for a telco. ServiceNow's argument is that the governance layer, what they're now calling a product by the name of AI Control Tower, is the thing that makes AI enterprise safe. Not just a nice add-on, the precondition. The second bet is that AI isn't optional, it's arithmetic. McDermott came back to this one a few times, in both his keynote and the session with press. There's a projected shortage of 50 million workers globally by 2030. The workforce isn't growing fast enough to meet demand, birth rates are declining, enterprise can't staff its way out of the problem it's about to have. And so the argument isn't, AI will help you be more efficient. The argument is AI is the only answer to a math problem that's already in motion. He put it bluntly, AI isn't coming for your job. AI is coming to do the jobs there won't be enough people to fill. That's a different pitch. And for a lot of your customers, it's a more honest one. Is it a glass half full take? Sure. But considering the number of glass half empty takes around AI and what it may do to the workforce of the future, I think it's worth considering. The third bet is the one that I find the most interesting. It was stated less explicitly, but I think it's the most important one for your business. The bet is that ServiceNow was built for this moment. That the platform that's been processing workflows for 20 years, the one that already has 100 billion flows running, most of them untagged and unidentified, was always the foundation that AI needed to land on. He said directly at one point, this platform was always waiting for AI. I think what he's really saying is the hard part isn't the AI. The hard part is knowing what to do with it, which workflows to activate, how to govern what you activate, how to quantify the outcome. And ServiceNow's argument is that 20 years of enterprise workflow data and the relationships and trust that comes with it is a moat that a hyperscaler or a pure-play AI company can't replicate. There was a moment in the session, a little lighter, where McDermott talked about his relationship with Jensen Huang. He joked that every time he appears on stage with Jensen, NVIDIA's market cap goes up by about $1 trillion. He then pointed out that his own company's multiple hasn't quite kept pace with that. Of course, he was being self-deprecating in the way powerful people can afford to be, but the point underneath it is real. The NVIDIA partnership gives ServiceNow something the pure platform story couldn't. A direct line to the AI infrastructure conversation, not just the AI governance conversation. And there was one last stat that he dropped that I've been chewing on since then. A statistical representation of the challenge that he faces and that you face. And also of the opportunity for those who play the game wisely. Only 1 in 10 enterprises, by McDermott's accounting, have actually moved from AI experimentation into AI that has genuinely impacted a core business process with real agentic workflows. 1 in 10. This is the CEO of the company that has just staked its entire conference on the theme of Welcome to Agentic Business, telling a room full of press that 9 out of 10 enterprises just aren't there yet. He wasn't being pessimistic, he was making the case for the runway, but I thought it was an unusually honest thing to say out loud, and it's worth noting. Because if 1 in 10 is the number, then for most of your customers, the agentic business isn't something they're navigating. It's probably something they're aspiring to. And the opportunity for the channel isn't to tell them about it, it's to get them there. And that's exactly what the Go Live guarantee and the AI control tower and the whole machinery of what ServiceNow announced this week is designed to do. Give the channel and itself a way to close the gap between the aspiration and the reality at a predictable pace with a quantifiable outcome. If you need a bit more of the Go Live AI guarantee and the AI control tower, we covered it all in this morning's edition of The Buzz, and tune in right here tomorrow to In the Channel, because ServiceNow's channel leader Michael Park has a lot to say about the mechanics of the Go Live AI guarantee in particular. One last quote I'll leave you with. Someone in the room asked McDermott how he stays energized given the complexity of everything happening right now. He didn't hesitate. This is the best time I've ever seen for innovation in the enterprise. He's a CEO, so you can take that with appropriate seasoning, but I was in the room, and I'll tell you, it felt like he meant it. More from Knowledge 2026 coming this week, so keep your favorite podcast app nearby. If you're finding the podcast useful, please follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, most of the major directories and apps. Ratings and reviews are always welcome as well. Until next time, I'm Robert Dutt for channelbuzz.ca, and I'll see you in the channel.